show of Rethink Healthcare. I'm one of your hosts, Wendy Ball, and this is
Mr. Montenegro.
Ta-da! He came again. Okay, so first of all, I just wanted to tell you that when I was getting dressed for the show today, I don't know if you've ever done this, but my shirt was on backwards. And I almost went to class that way the other day. I had it wasn't backwards, it was inside out. And could you imagine me getting up in front of my students? I had a scrub top on, because sometimes I wear scrub tops to teach, especially when we're doing some like clinical things or lab things. And it was inside out. But thankfully I went to put something in my pocket and I realized, have you ever done that? Have you ever walked out of the house like just not put together? He probably hasn't, because he's Mr. Montenegro. Mr. Montenegro doesn't do things like that.
But I'll tell you something funny though before we start the show here. Officially start the topic is to that note, right? My one time my daughter was on vacation. She was in Fiji for a while, and then when she came home, we'll go out to dinner. Okay. So I was in the car waiting, and she walks out and opens the door, and she goes, "Oh shoot!" I was like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "I forgot to put shoes on."
Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. What'd you do?
So I just started laughing because she said, "Well, when I was in Fiji, I never wore shoes." So then she walked out of the house
without shoes on.
Without shoes on.
No shoes, no service. No shoes, no service.
So, anyway.
Okay.
Back to the show.
Okay, so we're talking about, we need some laughs before we talk about this, because this is nursing burnout.
Oh yeah. Tough.
It happens.
Tough. Yes.
In all healthcare, I think it does.
Yes, not just nursing, but physicians.
Yeah.
Nurse practitioners get burnt out. Really, the
why?
It's a stressful role.
It is stressful. It's heavy too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of demands on the nurses. There's a lot of, not just nurses, but in healthcare in general. So I think the burnout per se is, first you have to look within yourself and say, do I have balance?
Mm-hmm. I think that's important.
If you don't have balance, then you need to look within, because then the job is not going to balance you. You need to balance your own self and your own schedule. I mean, let's look at the current scenarios right now.
Okay.
I mean, why do we think there's a high burnout? Based on what I see it, and I'm speaking from the long-term care end, because I do see a lot of patients in long-term care settings. The staffing levels are bad. Mm-hmm. So
a lot of times the ratio with a lot of the assisted living are like 1 nurse to 30 patients.
I mean, assisted living is actually okay for 1 to 30. That's actually good, because the assisted living patients are, for the most part, stable.
Yeah, but they're getting their meds, they're getting their treatment.
Yeah, but if med passes are fine on stable patients.
On stable, yeah.
But
stable.
When you have the instability of the patient, so when the acuity level is high, that's when the burnout gets worse. So, and I think a lot of it is really it's a downward spiral, because the worse the shortage is, the higher the burnout is, because sometimes you get mandated shifts. You're not allowed to leave if you don't have an oncoming nurse, because then that's abandoning your patients. So
you don't get to have time with your family. You don't get to go home and sleep. You don't get to eat.
Yes, right? I mean, I've been asked before to stay overnight because there was no oncoming shift, and reluctantly, I didn't have a choice.
You said yes because you only had the choice to say yes.
Exactly. So it's I think with the shortage it becomes worse, because then you always have a lack of supply.
Yeah. So how about these LPNs? Why is there from what I'm reading, there's a higher even burnout rate with the LPNs.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Maybe it's the setting they're in. Maybe they don't have as much support. Maybe the repetition of doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, but if you think of it, though, right, from the from the RN end, it's going to be the same. I mean, if you're in a specialty, you're going to be doing that same thing. If you're in med surg, you're in med surg. If you're in the ICU,
but you get a lot of
ICU.
different turnover in patients.
True. Yeah. Okay.
You do get turnover in patients, so that becomes a little fresh.
But that could also be another level of stress because a new patient coming in requires a new set of understanding on caring for that patient.
Yeah. I know with my nursing students that, you know, love you nursing students, but by the end of the 13 weeks, I'm ready for you to move on. So,
because you want them to progress.
No, because I'm tired of them, let's just be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I'm ready for them to progress, but you know, sometimes they need to move on. They need to move on. They got to stop coming into class late, eating in class, and you know.
See, I don't know.
You don't know that. You don't know that end of it. So.
And I don't know if I'll be good with that because I don't have much tolerance.
So what do you do for the burnout? Like, what can nurses do? What can LPNs do?
Yeah.
To
be in control of yourself. It's okay to say no.
Say no.
It's okay to say no. I'm not able to take on another shift because you have to take care of yourself first. If you're not taking care of yourself, how can you take care of others? Yes, the money will be good. Overtime money is always good. Working, I know a lot of LPNs who I encounter who work 7 days a week.
That's just
because they're working their full-time.
Not balance.
Yeah, they're working their full-time job, but then they're working weekend shifts somewhere else. Mm-hmm. They may go on a 10, 12-day stretch. That's just not healthy.
No.
And you know, as a healthcare worker, you got to first take care of yourself because you got to be able to be on me. And it's not an easy job. You're not just sitting there saying, I want to take a break and take a nap. That doesn't work that way. You don't have the ability to take a break. You don't have the ability to take a nap.
I think if you're burnout, though, I think sometimes it is just a good time to just kind of take a little break. I love that in healthcare we can work in different areas. So sometimes it just might be that we're burnt out of working in that area. And the great thing about nursing is we can kind of reset. We can get in a new setting, and maybe that'll kind of bring us a little more to life, you know.
When you say
excitement.
When you say take a break, I mean some nurses don't even get a lunch break.
I
remember as a nurse in the hospital. I mean, there are times that you don't eat lunch. When I was in the hospital, we didn't really have staffing issues, so we had liberties to actually leave the floor and eat lunch. I remember those were always rejoiced. That's always nice. But now,
but I'm not saying take a break just from the day. I'm saying take a break. Like, I got to take a break. Like, not for the day, but
like a day off or something like that.
Or maybe I need to change jobs. Maybe I need to take a break from that facility or where I'm working. Yeah. We've all had that. I've been in places where I'm like, okay, if I'm starting to lose my compassion for patients, if I'm starting to be like that negative person about my job, then you know I'm not going to care for my patient well. So maybe it's time for a reset for you.
Yeah. So having said that, I mean, one of the things that you can do is maybe do more agency type work where you have more control. I mean, the downside of that is that you may be going to different environments that you're not familiar with. But for the most part, there'll be repetitions. Mm-hmm. So, like the one LPN I was talking to who floats a lot, not float, but does agency a lot, she said it didn't really matter to her because she's been to all of them. So
she already knows how they all work.
Exactly. But that is one good point. Actually, that's one of the things I like about the role that I play as a nurse practitioner is I'm always in a different environment. I don't go to the same place.
So that makes things, that's what I'm saying, that kind of like spices things up, right?
Yeah.
So when we have that kind of change, it energizes us.
No, and it's also good mentally to have those changes. So maybe if you're feeling like you're getting burned out, you don't necessarily need to leave the nursing field, but look to reset in a different role. Mm-hmm. Or could consider doing the traveling stuff. I mean, the traveling nursing has been great. I don't know if there's much demand for traveling LPN. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into that. Certainly, traveling RNs has always been pretty good.
I think there is.
There is too? Okay.
An avenue for
traveling LPNs.
Yep. You get to go see beautiful places. So
Yes. Oh, I did that. Did you do traveling nurse ever?
no, you
No.
did?
I did a little bit of it. Yeah. But you know what I found is if I wanted to travel, I just wanted to travel.
You just want to travel.
Yeah.
You don't
I
want to be
wanna-
working while you're traveling.
Didn't want to work.
I have somebody that I work with that was a travel nurse in Hawaii.
Ooh.
So that's something to think about. So rethinking.
The rethink part is look within yourself because the nursing is not going to solve it for you. You got to look within yourself to balance what are your values. Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. Yeah. So that's it. Is that a wrap again?
Yeah, but
Okay.
also same for students. Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself.